All right, today I'm going to head out on the TriGlide and test out these new Ricor front fork Intimidator valves and also the next generation 13-inch TriGlide shocks. So let's go get on the bike and head out. Okay, we're going to go out and test these new Ricor Intimidator front fork valves, and we're also going to test out these DK Custom 13-inch TriGlide shocks. I'm going to go ahead and seek out the roughest road that I know, and that's down Monroe Street. I avoid Monroe Street like the plague. I never go down there because it's just too rough with the OEM shock. But today I'm going to go down there and I'm going to hit every manhole cover on the way, every chuck hole, pothole, patchwork, and rough intersection. Now I have a chin mounted helmet here, helmet camera, and it may seem like it's rough, but I'm going to tell you right now, in the seat, it's not that way at all. I'll let you know exactly how it is. I'm going to go down to Ducks Taylor Professional Altering. I got a jacket I'm taking down there, and I'm going to have him put in a new zipper for me. So it's about 6 miles away, and we're going to take off here. And first up is a manhole cover that I avoid like the plague. It's about an inch sunk down into the pavement. I avoid it like the plague. Here it is, right here. Wow, that was something. That was way better than the OEM shocks. On a scale of 1 to 10, that thing really jolts me with the OEM shocks. I mean, really jolts me. So I'll give that a 10 with the OEM shocks because it jolts so hard. But with these shocks, I just went over it with the suspension system here, and I'm going to give that a 3. That was a really nice ride over that manhole cover. All right, you know how, especially with the OEM shocks, I would see a manhole coming, a manhole cover or a pothole, and I would tense up real bad. And you know, I'm going to hit it, so you tense up and straighten up, and bang, you hit it, and you feel that jolt. Well, I've noticed with these shocks, I still do it. I mean, I see a manhole cover, and I go, I tense up, and oh man, but the ride is totally different now over those manholes. It's a world of difference, extremely tolerable, and I just got to learn not to tense up anymore. Just after this light right here is about 10 manhole covers that I avoid like the plague, but today I'm going to hit them all. Here's one on the left, boom, all these guys right here. Wow, I'm going to hit this one the left wheel, going to hit this one in the center, this one center, this one center. I'm going to hit this one the right wheel here, bang, this one center. We're just going to stop right here and look at all 10 of these manhole covers. Each one of them have a different degree of how much they're sunk above the level of the pavement, with this one being number 1, and this one being number 2, and a number 3, and number 4 with a small chunk of pavement missing. Number 5 not looking too bad. Number 6 was slightly sunk down, but you could sure feel it with the OEM shocks. And here's number 7. It had about a ½ inch below the surface. And number 8 was sunk down a little bit there and had a big chunk of pavement missing. And number 9 was pretty close to the surface. It wasn't too bad. And number 10 here had a little bit of gnarliness just before it, but it was pretty level on the surface. All right, that's another 3. Those were just fantastic. I could stand those really easy. Nothing worth, I mean, just really nice. That's all I can say. What a world of difference in this whole suspension system. Okay, up here we got some more manhole covers that are worse than those back there. One on the left here, that was a smooth one. But I would have just stuck with the OEM shocks had my wife not ride with me all the time, because I was satisfied with them. But okay, here we go. One on the right, the back rear wheel is going to hit it, bang, nothing. Rear wheel is going to hit rear right, nothing. Rear right, nothing. Oh my gosh. Here's the center one. This one's usually pretty smooth, yeah. And here's a really, really bad one right here. Right rear wheel, I'm going to hit it. Well, I could feel that one a little bit. Here's the center wheel. Good grief, this is just a world of difference in shocks. Now here's a bad one right here, right wheel. Oh man, I don't want this. Oh, not bad at all. Good grief, what a world of difference in this suspension. All right, I'm just going to rewind and show you some of these manhole covers, how monstrous rough they were. This is when I hit with the right wheel. Then the next one we came up to, I hit with the right wheel also. Then the next one we came up to, I hit with the right wheel. And again, these are sunk down pretty good in the ground, and I hit them with a pretty good jolt, but the shocks really did wonderful. And coming up in the center one, I just kind of off center on that one a little bit. Then we sped up to the next one here, and it was another sunken one. As you can see, the pavement around it sunk down. Then we headed up to the next one here, and it wasn't too bad, but still it was sunk down, and you could feel this is a dead center for the Intimidators. And we headed up to the last one here, which was incredibly hard. It took a pretty good jolt on that one. And you can see by the pictures that these are some pretty bad manhole covers, but I purposely hit them just so I wanted to work these shocks just to see what they're made of. And I'm not kidding, they shone through like light shines in darkness. I was really happy with them. I could have lived with the OEM suspension system if I was just riding by myself. I mean, it wasn't that bad. I mean, I could have stood it, but when the wife got on, she got jolted around pretty good back there behind me, as she was sitting right on the axle, so she got the blunt of all these potholes and so forth. So I decided I better invest in some comfort riding for her, because I didn't want her to quit riding with me. All right, this is Francis and Monroe, and this intersection here is one of the worst. You hit this thing at 30 miles an hour, and it will, like a bucking bronco horse, it'll throw you off, and you felt it. So I avoided this intersection all the time. But it looks like today we're just going to be going over it probably about 15 miles an hour, but still it's a rough intersection. Now again, the bike's going to show it really rough, but it's different in the seat. Believe me, it's different in the seat. So I slowed the video down here so we could look at this manhole that had sunk down into the pavement. Then we'll move up to the next patched pothole that the patch had sunk down quite a bit, and I hit that with my left rear tire. And also up on the right, if you look on my right and left side, my rear tire is going to hit those spots. Those are patched potholes. And moving up just a little bit more, you can see the pothole there that hasn't been patched and the part that has been patched. But it was pretty rough going through this area. Oh my gosh, it's like I didn't even feel that one. I don't know, I was only doing about 20 mile an hour, 22, but yeah, it was way different, better ride. All right, around this corner here we're going to come into a lot of patchwork. I'm going to get in the other lane because I know it's really super rough over there in this lane. I'll show you this patchwork. I can give this car a little leeway ahead of me so I can find it. Today's Saturday. A lot of traffic. Okay, here it is, right? So I'm going to slow it down here, and you can see how rough this really is, as it's just a bunch of cracked pavement, patched potholes that have sunk over the winter, and they come and patch it again. So the front wheel went right through it because it was going down the center, but both rear wheels caught a brunt of it all. Coming up, look at all this patchwork. I'm going to go right through it, hit the right and the left wheel were hitting it. The front wheel went right down the center, so I didn't feel anything on the front wheel. But That was a patchwork, and that I avoided that like the plague all the time, and I went through it this time, and I'm gonna give it another 3. That was just awesomely smooth. So I really am liking these new NexGen 13-inch trike shocks. In Spokane here, we get this freeze and thaw all the time, and it creates potholes, and they come along in the wintertime even and patch them up. There's another spot right there. They come and patch them up, and 5 days later they're a pothole again because of the freeze and thaw. I think Spokane has some of the worst city roads in the country, to tell you the truth. Yeah, yeah, there's a total. I guess I'm saying it too much, but that's because I can tell the difference. Here's some more right here. I don't usually come down this road because of this reason. It's all full of patchwork and potholes and cracks in the road. Now here's a big one right here. Let's see. And you can see how rough this is on the left rear tire, but those new NexGen 13-inch TriGlide shocks just handled it beautifully, and I was very well pleased with that. I wouldn't mind riding down Monroe all the time now with these new suspension products that I got. Now this intersection here is Garland and Monroe, and it's worse than Francis back there intersection. You hit this one at 30, you catapult you. And again, I avoid this intersection. I avoid Monroe Street here. I wish I could hit it at 30 miles an hour like I normally do, just to feel it. But again, the bike probably looking like it's pretty rough, and which, you know, you'd think in the seat it would be the same way, but I think the cameras make it look way worse than it is. But in the seat, I'm telling you, it's just a nice ride. I wouldn't mind coming down this way anymore, because this new suspension stuff that I got on here. All right, I'm going to hit this about. I'm just going to stop here and go to the intersection real slow, starting with this pothole right here. So both rear wheels got a workout right here over this manhole cover and through all this patchwork, and it rises in the center and drops off in the rear through all these cracks. It was one rough intersection. Going up the other way, we'll come up the other way. It's even worse going up the other way. Okay, I need to get over. Are you going to let me over? And the answer is I don't have to get over now. We're already merging. All right, we're coming down into the Monroe shopping area. Spokane has a lot of little pockets of culture, and this is just one of them. It's probably about maybe half to 3/4 mile long, with just a bunch of businesses along here, secondhand stores, eateries, taverns, you know, service stations. There's car wash. Anyway, down on the left up here is Ducks Taylor Professional Alterations, where I'm going to take my jacket into him. He's a 90 years old Chinese guy. He should have retired at 65, but he is such a professional, and he don't care. Just give him it, and then 1 week later, he always says 1 week, and you get it in 1 week. He's never been off. Okay, here it is on the left. I'm going to pull over to the right here and park for a second. Right here. Cars. And there it is right there. Ducks Taylor Professional Alterations for men and women. I'm going to go there and take my jacket in there and have a new zipper put in. Great Taylor. All right. Say goodbye to Ducks Taylor Professional Alterations, and we'll head down Monroe Street here. All this business section, this little pocket of culture. Pretty smooth road all the way up to the top of where Garland and Monroe meet, where that intersection is, where it's just like, it'll buck me off on my OEM shocks. Again, I avoid it like the plague. And again, I can't emphasize enough the bike really probably looks like it's taking a beating, but in the seat, it's way different. Seriously? What the heck? Okay, you're good. You're good. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, she don't want to go. Okay. That's cool. Okay, come on. Oh my gosh, really? Oh, you're cool. All right. She bought a globe right from the secondhand store. That's cool. Oh, I might mention I got 22 pound of pressure in the rear tires, not 26. So maybe that's, I'm sure it is a contributing factor to how well the bike takes the potholes. Let's see if I can't get this. I'm going to try to get this intersection on a here's a bunch of rough road here. I'm going to take a right here until that light turns green and make a U-E. I want to go through that intersection kind of fast, maybe about 20 or 30. We'll see. There it is. Okay, here we go. This is a rough intersection, one of the roughest ever. All right, I'm going to take it at 30. Now the intersection don't look all that bad, but it is really rough. It's got a point in the center. You approach the top and then drop off the other side. It is pretty bad. With the OEM shocks, I'm going to give it a 10 as for roughness, like a Buck and Bronco. But with these shocks, I'm going to give it a 5. Even a car is horrible. All right, got through it. And on a scale of 1 to 10 again with the OEMs, that would be a 10. That would buck me off. And on these new suspension there, I'm gonna have to give that one a 5. But on the OEM again, it was 10. But like I say, I know that is a super rough intersection. Even my car, when I go over it in my car, holy mackerel, it's bad. So on the bike it would be probably even worse, but it was very tolerable. Yeah, I'm getting to the point now where I just want to say good things about these shocks and these Intimidator valves. Yeah, seriously, I avoid that intersection like the plague back there. From here, the next mile or so is filled with cracks, potholes, patchwork, manhole covers, and this lane I'm in now, if I have to come up this way, I avoid it like the plague. Here's a pothole, a manhole. Just like, that was like really nice. Here's one on the right wheel's gonna catch it. That was pretty smooth. A lot of whoop-de-doos. You can see the bike just probably jumping all around on this road. But I don't feel it in the seat. It just feels like a normal nice ride in the seat. Now we're going to come up on that piece of road where the road is just totally rough. There is a part around the corner up here that I don't really want to do it because it is really bad. Here's 2 patchworks for both wheels. Oh, that was nice. All right, here comes the rough spot right here. A bunch of the right wheel, the left wheel's hitting it, left wheel's hitting it. Oh, way better. Here's some more right through here. There's a big old pothole. I'm not hitting that, baby. That was like 5 inches deep. Sorry, I had to avoid that one. Now here we are. Here with these. Look at that. I'm gonna put the right wheel, left wheel back in that. Oh, good grief. I'm just gonna rewind here and show you kind of how rough this area really was. The left wheel hit that pretty good and got through it real nice. I put the left wheel back on that and there was nothing. Here's the right wheel. Really, it is just a world of difference. I'm sure the Darla will be very happy with these new suspension. Like I say, I could have. Here's a dip right here. It's 3 inches deep. Yeah, that was a feeler for sure at slow speed. I wonder what it would have been like at higher speed. But this is Francis and Monroe again, and this intersection's horrible. Just almost as bad as that Garland one back there. Just on the other side, I'm in the lane that's just really rough. I chose it because I want to work these shocks and see how they work. But just on the other side, the light right there is a manhole cover that is just kind of tore up really bad, and even this intersection's tore up pretty bad. So we'll just go through it and I'll give you my opinion. But so far, yeah, I really like this new suspension. There's some hole. Look at this patchwork right here. All right. Yeah, I'm here to tell you that is one rough intersection. Look at this manhole. Good grief. I hit that thing dead center. That was probably a 6. Between a 5 and a 6 compared to the OEMs. The OEMs would have been a 10 there. I would have been bouncing out of my seat. That was really, really bad. So you can imagine if those are the worst that Spokane has to offer, which I think it's pretty bad. If you can imagine that that's the worst that Spokane has to offer, you know, the minor stuff, anything less than all that is a world of difference. I mean, like night and day, they say. And if you've been contemplating on getting some of these shocks, they are rather up there in price. But I bit the bullet and bought some, and I'm glad I did. I bought the Intimidators too, and yeah, you know what I did? I put the Intimidators in first in the front forks before I put the rear NexGen 13-inch TriGlide shocks on, and I put the Intimidators on first, and then went out and tried them just to see if what kind of difference there was. And there was quite a bit of difference in the way the front forks took an event. And what I mean by event is a pothole or a bump. Yeah, there was a lot smoother, you could tell. But you know, on the TriGlides, you got, you know, your front wheels going down the center, your two rear wheels are separated, so it's hard to find a spot where all three wheels don't get hit at the same time. So I was able to find several spots where the front fork Intimidators were the only ones being affected, and the rear wheels didn't hit the same bump. And yeah, you could really tell the difference in the Intimidators. A much slower, smoother, well, I don't know if I'm slower, but I really don't know how to explain it, but yeah, you could tell the difference. It was a lot softer. The OEM oil fork is 20 weight, and the Intimidators take 10 weight oil, and because the oil orifices need that thin weight to go to there to operate properly. And got a two valving system on there. Yeah, it definitely can feel the difference. There's no doubt about that. Okay, just beyond this light here is another set of manhole covers. There's two of them up here on the left. I'll get in the left lane when I can. There's two giant manhole covers, and they have a sink. They're sunk down a couple inches at least. And again, I would avoid those like the plague when I went over them with the OEM shocks. Made sure I was in this lane. But they were a Buck and Bronco set of manhole covers. So I'm going to get in the left lane and we'll experience them. Again, the bike's probably looking like it's a lot more rougher than it is in the seat. That guy don't want to give me no room. All right, we're good. Here's a manhole cover, but it's a smooth one. Here they are right here, two of them. 1, 2. Oh man, those were a lot smoother. Okay, let's just go back and take a look at these manhole covers. They're larger than your normal manhole covers, and they're sunk down quite a bit. When I hit them with the OEM shocks, it really jolted you. But when I hit them this time with these new shocks and Intimidator valves, it was like really nice. I'm going to give them a 3 too. No, not a 32, but just a 3 also. Yeah, that was nice. Here's one on the left here. Right wheel, left and right wheel's both going to catch them. Oh, smooth as silk. Front wheel. That's one of those ones where the Intimidator comes. Here's one Intimidator's going to come in. Oh, that was a smooth one. Oh, look at this car in front of me. Just going to take a right turn. I got to get in the right lane. And then bounce back to the left lane. And there's the left wheel going to catch this manhole cover. These two manholes. That's a big one. And this spot right here, look at that. Oh, man. Oh, holy mackerel. All right, let's rewind here and take a look at this. This left rear wheel took a real big hit right here in that chuck hole right there. Right wheel. Oh, those are smooth. Okay, front one on the Intimidator. Nice, very nice. Front one on the Intimidator. Nice. That wasn't sunk down too bad. This one sunk down. Not bad at all. I mean, here's a bad one. Oh, the Intimidators are just doing fantastic. Anyway, that one spot back there with the pothole, I hit that with the left rear wheel. The pothole, I don't know, it was pretty deep. I'm gonna say it was 3 to 4 inches deep. I don't know how long, but it took it really nice. I was impressed. I'm doing 39 mile an hour. All right, just beyond this light here is where all these new manholes covers start. I'm gonna hit them all. There's one Intimidator. Oh my gosh, they're beautiful. A bunch of them. I hit the right, left wheel. There's a right, left wheel. Here's a right wheel. Okay, here's a Intimidator. Boom. Right wheel. Bang. Oh, that one's pretty smooth. Okay, Intimidator right here. Boom. Oh, that is so smooth. I would avoid these like the plague before. Another one right here. I would ride the right white line right there just to avoid all this stuff. Keep my wheels totally away from all this. Here's one right here. Intimidator. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, what a difference here. All right, so we go over to this roundabout here, and just as soon as I exit the roundabout, there is a pothole. We'll see it, and it is deep, and before the Intimidator, before the Intimidator, it was really bad. So here it is right here. Let's see, right where the pavement changes colors right here. Here it is. I'm going to go right down the center of it. And there's one, bang. Oh, come on, seriously? We'll rewind here and just take a look at this crack. Front wheel went right down the center of it and hit the pothole at the end there. The Intimidators just did fantastic. The OEMs were horrible. I would felt every bit of that thing, but the Intimidators are just unbelievably nice ride through that. There was nothing there. All right. That's about the end of it. All right, so my impression is 10 being the worst. Like I'll just say the OEMs were 10s, and these are going to be 3s. I mean, these are super. I don't know what to say. I can just tell you what I felt, and I'm happy with these things. Like I say, even though they're expensive to buy, I could have lived with the OEM shocks by myself. If I was riding by myself, I probably wouldn't have spent all this extra money for the OEM suspensions parts, but since the wife was riding, yeah, worth the money. That's all I can say. Worth the money. Okay, I just got back from testing this suspension out from DK Customs, the convertible comfort lift kit, along with the 13-inch next generation trike shocks and the Ricor front fork Intimidator valves. And I'm here to tell you, it is a world of difference. There's no doubt about it. As you saw, I seeked out every rough manhole cover, every chuck hole, every pothole, every patchwork, every crack in the ground, and every rough intersection, and I put it to a rigorous test. I wanted to hit everything just to see if there really was a comparison. If you're looking to upgrade your suspension system from your OEM TriGlide system, then these products here right here fit the bill perfectly. Smoother, better ride. The NexGen 13-inch TriGlide shocks with the convertible comfort lift kit, complemented by the Ricor front fork Intimidator valves. You can't go wrong. Definitely can't go wrong. It's a much better ride for you. sitting in the driver's seat, and especially for your passenger back there. I watched the DK Custom intro video on these NexGen 13-inch TriGlide shocks, and I was listening to Kevin, and he said something that struck me. He described these shocks to a T, and I only thought about it after I had taken this ride, but he described them to a T, how they are, and I wrote it down, and so I just want to quote him word for word. And here's what he said. There were a few points during the development that some of the test riders said, it's a little bit better than this shock, or a little bit better than that shock. And he said, we can't just put out something that is just a little bit better. We can't just put out something that you're feeling it's a little bit better. That would make it no better than this shock or that shock. It has to be head and shoulders above, absolutely distinguishable, better than any other shock, and otherwise, why even make it? And that struck me, and I thought, you know, I'm going to buy that shock.